So we are here on another episode of the Workplace Theater. This is our leadership series, and I have the privilege today of being at Byline Bank here in beautiful Oak Park, right across from the Lake Theater. And I have Miss Susie as well as Miss Denise.
Hi.
Tell them a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, I'm Susie Goldschmidt. I've been in banking for over 40 years, always in the Oak Park, River Forest, and the surrounding community. Today I sit in Oak Park as their market president, overseeing Oak Park and River Forest.
Awesome. Denise?
I am Denise Warren. I'm the branch manager, actually, of the Oak Park and River Forest branches. And so I manage the team in each branch and the day-to-day operations of the branch, along with connecting with our business and consumer community.
Love it. I love it. So on this leadership series, we've been having some really, really great conversations with leaders in the corporate space and community as well. Before we dive in too much, though, just to kind of break the ice a little bit, if you all could think of one book or a movie or a podcast that speaks to your leadership style or that has kind of triggered some thoughts about your leadership style, what would that be?
Ooh, I have a video, but I can't remember the name. I'm gonna have to remember the name because it resonated so deeply with me. Lots of talk on leadership and the changing world and how things are so much different today than they were just, even 10, 15 years ago. I will certainly get the name. Something that stood out for me from him was getting to know your team on a personal level and how that's so important in the workplace, much more so in this world that we're in now versus when I started in the workforce a few short years ago. But he talked a lot about understanding your team and connecting with them, and that stuck with me. I took a lot of good points from that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Thank you.
Mine, I think, would be Amy Cuddy. She does a lot of podcasts, and the one that stood really or resonated with me was how to make yourself be known, be seen in a room. Don't make yourself small, make yourself big. She talked a lot about your presence, how you sit, how you don't have your hands crossed, things like that people would mistake your body language as weakness. So those are some of the things that she talked about. Amy Cuddy, and she's done so many. I've done so many of her podcasts. So there's many of them out there. So just look her up. She's great. She may be a little dated now because I watched this a few years ago, but it really resonated with me because you only get one chance to make a first impression, and that first impression is so important. So how you shake people's hands, look them in the eye, and the way you sit even in a desk, make yourself tall all the time. Don't put your feet up on the table, just things like that. So she resonated with me quite a bit.
All right. Awesome. And as you can see, we got some of the youngins in the background.
Oh, we
We're
always
not
do.
gonna- We're not going to worry about them
they're-
too much. Let them have a
They
little,
knock on our window all the time and
having a
wave
little
their
fun
hands.
out there.
Yeah.
So no, thank you for that. Body language. I
Thank
think
you.
that one
Yeah.
that one is huge. So first question: what do you all feel is one of the biggest challenges that leaders face today in building a great team?
For me, I think so many of my colleagues and team members work remotely. So sometimes we forget the importance of really forging a really strong relationship and bond with them. Once you get that strong relationship and bond, you earn their trust. And trust goes both ways. Once you trust each other, you can form this positive relationship. You can rely on them, lean on them, and they can do the same thing with you. One of my pet peeves is when I get on these team calls and people are not on camera. So I don't know if they're listening to me, are they eating, are they ironing clothes? I don't know what they're doing. So for me, being on camera is really important. When we get on a Teams meeting, when I have a Teams meeting, I ask that each team member to be on camera so we could see them. We could see the reflection. You can see their interaction in their face. And we missed all that in the virtual world. I always encourage open communication. Questions are always welcome. There's no stupid question. There's no stupid answer. You know, there's never a right and wrong. You know, there's reasoning for people asking the things they do. So I really ask for open communication. And I really want to get to know my coworkers' strengths and weaknesses so we can build on that. And we can best utilize their talent with that.
Awesome.
Agreed. I think that the remote environment has changed the workplace so much. For me, though, as the branch manager, I am in the branches, and we are not able to work remote. And so it's a different scenario for us, but we do have other areas, other departments and colleagues that are working remotely. And I think when I look or think about challenges with the team, it might be a little bit of, I wish that we could work remotely, and a little bit of sometimes almost resentment toward others who are able to do that. Particularly, I will say for sure, COVID changed the world, right? For everyone, it changed the world. And during that time, even when most of the world was remote, we were not, because we had to be in the branch to assist our customers. And so there was a lot of that resentment that built at that time. Like, well, why do we have to be, and so dealing with that has been a struggle over the last few years since then, and keeping the team together. I think making sure that everyone understands the shared purpose that we have and why we have to be here, and how we can best support our customers and other areas, and just getting everyone to understand that has been a significant challenge.
Yeah. I love what you said about shared purpose. Mm-hmm. I think we have our own individual needs as we come to an org. But if we look at what the shared purpose is, and then how do we fit into that,
right,
versus how is this org fitting into us?
Right. Yes.
As much as we would like that, well, if you like that, then go start your own business.
Exactly.
For sure.
So no, I love that.
Right.
When you think of, because you mentioned earlier connecting with your team, when you think of engaging and connecting during this hybrid still kind of state of mind that we're in, what comes to mind? What are things that you all are doing or that you have done that you feel?
I think that when we talk about connecting with team, one of the single most important things that we can do is to understand our team, to understand on an individual level each person that's part of the team and what they need and what makes them thrive, and really connecting with each individual to understand that makes such a difference, because it fosters that sense of purpose again and how you can give to this team. How can we make you your best? And so understanding that from each individual is key for getting everyone involved and feeling good about being here at work.
A lot of times I said you have to read the room. You have to read the room in your audience. Now you have to read the individual. Mm-hmm. So that's really important for me, because when in my environment, because I work with so many of the community and the community leaders, I always have to read the room. What is the audience? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking of? Mm-hmm. Same thing with people. People, we have to bring that down to the people level. Read the person. Know what everyone's wants and needs are different. And we have to not put them all in one category, because they're not. Everyone's an individual. Mm-hmm. And we really try to keep that individuality with our team. As I talk about our team, we always talk about work-life balance, how it's important. You can't have it all work all day, work, and then don't have that life balance. We know that they have children. They know we have school. We have a lot of that. So when Denise and I really talk about getting the team together, what do? We do a lot of team building. We do a lot. We do at least once a quarter, if not more. Some of the team building activities we've had are...
Yeah, we've done bowling. We've done an escape room. We did a gathering, a game night at Susie's house.
Yeah. It was a little competitive, but that's okay.
But it's
Healthy
all in
competition.
It's supposed to be.
It's
Healthy
all
competition.
in fun. But it does. It gives us that ability to connect on a real level.
Yeah.
And we're not just about work, right?
Yeah.
We're people. We're individual people. We all have personalities and needs and wants and all of that. And so doing those types of activities has allowed us to connect really well with each person on the team and make them like real people.
Transversely, they know that we're real people. We're not just the
Yep.
leaders. We're not just the market president. She's not just the branch manager. We're both approachable. You should be able to approach us at any time. And then when they see us let our hair down at these events, we're having fun, we're laughing, we're talking. I think that makes the real difference. At work, of course, there's always, Denise is the branch manager, Susie the market president. So we have tellers, we have bankers. But knowing that they're able to approach us and talk to us at any time, any given time, I think that makes a really good leader, that we're very open to communication. And that's important for us. That's why we do these activities outside of the home. We want them to know that we care about them.
One other thought that I have to add to that is I think it's important that, I have one-on-ones with each team member monthly, and creating that safe space for them to let, it's just us talking. It's just us. And letting them know that I encourage them to be themselves, encourage them to talk through any struggles or challenges that they're having. And it's okay to make mistakes. If we make mistakes, let's talk about it, let's fix it and move on. And that's okay. And so creating that space for each individual employee has been really, really helpful.
It's that Las Vegas rule.
Yes.
What happens in this room stays in this
Right.
room, and we tell them that. Unless it's detrimental to their health, we're not going to report it to HR. But we really, whatever you tell us, you're in the safe space. So please tell us and share. If something's happening at home, then we understand why you're late every day. Maybe you're having childcare issues. But as long as they tell us and they know it's a safe space, they're able to do that. So I think that's important to have that whenever you're a leader, to be able to have a safe space for them to talk.
I love it.
I just want to share this, that Denise and I have been together for a really long time. So we always say she's my yin to my yang.
Right.
We've been working together for probably...
She keeps trying to make me older.
Yeah.
I think it's like 30. It's going on 35.
So we've been together for 35
long
years.
time.
So we've known each other's challenges.
Yes.
We've been to marriages, death, divorces, births. So we've been through a lot together. So I think that's really helpful that she and I can share these things, and I can be very open and candid with her and not hold back. And she does the same to me. I may not like the things she says, or she may not like the things I say, but at the end of the day, we know we're just trying to make the bank a better place.
Right.
Really,
For
our
sure.
workplace.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Again, we're at Byline Bank here in Oak Park. Family. They are
Yes,
family. They
absolutely.
treat people like
Oh
family.
yeah, we treat our children. Believe me, sometimes we fight like family. Believe
Yes.
me, it's not all
sure.
all roses, but
That's
that's
real, though,
that's
right?
the reality
That's
of
real.
things. I mean,
Yeah.
we're going to disagree, but we come to terms, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not the same person. She has her management style, I have mine, and so, but we usually come together, and it really works out well.
Love it. So shifting a little bit in terms of leadership principles, if you all could pick one leadership principle that has had the greatest impact on your career, what would that be?
I'm going to say for me, it's lead by example. And it's really two things, because I lead by example, and I would never assign or do anything that I wouldn't expect someone else to do. That's really important for me. So if I see there's water on the floor of the bank, I would never tell somebody, go mop that water up if I wouldn't do it myself. So I think leading by example is very important. You know, being punctual every day, that's leading by example. If I'm punctual, I'm not expecting anything from my team that I wouldn't do myself. You know, my work ethic, being very ethical at work. I want you to follow my lead. And so if I was unethical, you know, I would expect they would do the same. So doing all those things, leading by example, is really important as a leader. You want them to be able to follow you and emulate you, not to the exact core, but you know, you want to always set that good example.
Mm-hmm. Yep. For me, I would say what's impacted me the most is developing my team and empowering them by giving them autonomy to learn and to grow and to figure things out and make those mistakes and learn how to fix. And I think that has been the biggest impact for me, because it allows in our roles, each of us, it requires so much. There are so many moving parts to this role as a leader of the branch, and so empowering the team allows me to do what I need to do and not have to worry about, can they handle it, can they get the job done, will they be okay. By really developing them and leading and training and teaching them how to do it and get it right has made a significant difference for me, and it makes us both very proud of the team and their abilities, their capabilities. It provides opportunities of growth for them. It's just a win-win all the way around. So for me, it would be development of the team and watching them flourish.
I love that. Hands-on, but hands-off.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Hands-on with
Yes.
love, but hands-off with
That's it.
Yeah,
direction.
they have to grow them
That's it.
on their own accord.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. What is a shift that you think that leaders need to make? If you could just pick one shift. Yeah.
Yep. For me, it's adaptability, for sure. And I say that because I think I said earlier, right, the world is very different. And us as leaders, I think it's key for us to be adaptable and be able to accept the change and understand how generations have changed and needs and expectations have changed in the workplace. From back when Susie and I started in the workforce, things were so different, so very different. I think it was much more of a focus back then about just get the job done and just, train you and go and do the job. And now people are so different. Needs, the world is very sensitive, and we need to connect and we need to do all of those things. And so that requires a lot of adaptability and learning how to work with people and understand, be empathetic, and figure out how can I best connect to make this happen. So for me, adaptability is it.
The word of the day for me is resilience, which goes along with adaptability. You have to be really resilient in your position. Change is ever happening. Especially in banking, there's forever changes. But you can't go back and say, well, we did it that way last week or 2 weeks ago. It's always that way. You have to be resilient and know that change is happening, and you just have to bounce back from it. So being resilient and being adaptable is they kind of go hand in hand. You have to be resilient in what you do, and that goes with life too. Mm-hmm. Life throws you all these curves, but you have to be resilient. Pick yourself off that ground and just get up and go and just do it. No one likes that moaner. You can empathize with them for a moment, but then just pick yourself up, take that challenge, and just move on. Life doesn't stop, world doesn't stop because of these changes that happen. Even with COVID, we always talk about post-COVID. You just have to be resilient, adapt to it, and move forward. Otherwise, you'll be back. We'll be back to the COVID days, quite honestly. Yeah. So those are the two words. I think both of them go hand in hand when we talk about things.
I love that. I use that a lot when I speak with our youth around being able to fight through it.
Yes.
Pivot.
Yeah,
It's so tough now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's important.
it's tough, but it isn't really. We say that things have changed, but really things haven't. It's just the
True.
way you react to
Right.
it. It's all about the way you react to change.
Mm-hmm.
Change is going to be everlasting. We're going to have change after change after change. It's just how you react to it and how you pivot from it. How do you pivot out or how you pivot in? So those are the things. You have to either pivot out of it and get out of that black hole and, get yourself up there and be proud of what you're doing. And just move on. Just move on. You can't think of they did it like that last year, or that's so last year. Well, that is so last year. So get your mind moving. Move forward.
Yeah. Well, it has been a privilege, ladies.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you want to leave any leaders with that, I don't know, maybe struggling either with a new team or struggling just trying to get their team where they want them to go? Any advice?
I would say give yourself some grace for sure. Know that being a leader is a tough job. It can be very challenging, but also very rewarding. And so I think it's important to give yourself some grace, give yourself time to learn everyone and to learn the role and how to connect with your team is super important. When you give yourself that time, it allows you to make the mistakes and to not sink from that, but you continue, learn from the mistake, you grow, you keep going, and you give yourself some grace for it and say, okay, learned a lesson from this one, won't do that again.
Right.
Maybe I'll try this way. And when you do that, it eventually it all falls into place. And so that would be my best advice, I guess, for a new leader, is to give yourself that time and allow the time that it takes to really learn the role and to connect with your team.
Awesome.
I'm going to say ego. Ego's a big word. Ego, sometimes people let egos get in their way. They're afraid to ask questions because it's their ego and they're thinking they're going to fail. You're not going to fail. Let ego go aside sometimes, and it's okay to ask the questions yourself to your leaders. You're a leader yourself, but if you don't know the answer, it's okay. It's okay to ask the question because someone else in that room, I talk about this all the time when we have a bunch of branch managers getting together in this room. We have certain people that always raise their hand and ask the question, and the rest of them are listening. Those other people have that same question in mind. They just don't they're letting their ego get in the way, or maybe they're scared or ashamed. But it's okay to ask that question. Raise your hand. If you don't understand it, you don't understand it. So I think it's important to lean into your colleagues, your other peers, and don't be afraid to ask. Don't let ego get in your way because, I always say I surround myself with really smart people. I don't know all the answers. I certainly don't know the answers, but I surround myself with Denise, the assistant branch manager, and we're all a team and we can all ask each other questions at any given time. So check your ego at the door, check your baggage at the door, and don't let that stand in your way of your success.
Amazing, amazing. Ladies, thank you for all of the insight. You can follow us on YouTube at Workplace Theater. You can also check us out on LinkedIn. It's Grow Exponential. It's been a privilege having you all. Thank you so much,
Thank
ladies.
you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.